Hello, welcome back to another video. My name is Mikes, and today we're just doing a video talking about West Ham. That isn't a match reaction, isn't an aftermath video, and isn't a preview. Your Tottenham preview will be coming on Wednesday, 4 p.m. I am recording that today on a Tuesday when you're seeing this video. Today we're just going to be talking about the Moyes in versus Moyes out debate, the ongoing debate that happens all over social media. Obviously, the Twitter dons always go at war, and let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about it. And obviously, there's always polls from various accounts on whether Moyes should go or not. There's people that go too far either way, in my opinion, with the Moyes in and Moyes out campaign. There's people that don't want to hear anything positive about Moyes, and there's people that don't want to hear anything negative. The problem with that is that that's an agenda. The word agenda gets used too much. But that is a literal agenda where you don't want to hear any sort of discussion, and that's what online pretty much is, isn't it? It's like, especially when it comes to like YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok, isn't it? Instagram, etc. But whatever. Let's weigh up the pros and cons. Now, I've seen a lot of things. I've seen a lot, and it's been a discussion for a while. It's like Moyes bottled the top four in previous seasons when he got us Europe. Now, I will not I was a very Moyes-in guy when it came to those seasons because it was West Ham in Europe. I was more frustrated with the team and the players rather than Moyes. If you look at my early videos, you will hear me criticise Moyes for certain things, but it was never Moyes out. Because I started this channel in 2021, so it's the 21-22 season. And I was quite positive. I was quite angry that we got the Conference League place because we bottled it and didn't get the Europa League place, but that ended up working out quite well. But to be fair, let's look at this deeper. So, the year that we got sixth, yes, we should have got a striker in January as well as Jesse Lingard. Unfortunately, though, Declan Rice did get injured. We didn't actually. We weren't expecting that. You got England taking a throw-in on international duty, I'm pretty sure it was at the time. And I thought, yeah, that's Europe done. We're not getting Europe then. But Mark Noble came in, he did a couple games, then he got injured, so then we had to play Lanzini and Deeper. Then he got injured, then Rice came back. Throughout those games for a while, I can remember we beat Wolves, we beat Leicester. Those were two games that we just about beat them. And that was their international break, just after we bottled it against Arsenal when we drew 3-3. We had a terrible loss, the 1-0 loss against Everton. Again, at Everton at home when we lost 1-0, when we couldn't break them down. Sounds familiar. But then it was fine. Like I think we also lost to Chelsea 1-0. And I don't remember the other results. But yes, Newcastle 3-2. I think Rice didn't play that game. I don't think Rice played the game where Craig Dawson had a howler. Diop had a howler. Everyone had a howler. I don't think he played that game either. There was a few games where it was the March-April time when we were missing Declan Rice. And unfortunately, Mark Noble wasn't the guy to play week in, week out when he had to. But he did a job for us next season, in his last season where he played in Europe and stuff. And I can't blame Moyes too much necessarily for anything other than not getting a striker that season. That's the only thing I can really blame him for, is not getting a striker, because we needed one. Haller left, Snodgrass left, we had funds. So we got Lingard on loan. And I was very angry with the signing at the time. I remember texting my Man United friend being like, no, we're signing a backup done. So I remember using those words. But then Lingard proved me wrong straight away. On the first game, I was angry when he started. I was angry when Ryan Fredericks was on the right wing, but that ended up being a masterstroke from David Moyes because Vladimir Sufal pocketed Jack Grealish that game and Lingard scored a brace. And I knew Lingard was a good player, but I didn't think he'd be a good player for us. I didn't think that Lingard would just turn it on like that, but he did. He just wanted to play football. He was going through a lot, and then he turned it on for us, and then we got that season done. But if we go back to the point of bottling top four. We go to the next season. It was ever since that Angelo Ogbonna injury to Liverpool, you can see the form dip. Because we then got Zuma injured in that Chelsea game, where we beat them 3-2 as well. We beat both of them 3-2. And then it just dipped from there. We barely won a game in the 2022 calendar year. That was a really bad year in terms of actually winning games, despite our position. We ended up still getting 7th. But we even scraped over like the games against Watford 1-0 where Kurt Zuma, the cat thing happened. Scraping over Norwich 2-0. Even though we blatantly deserved to win. That game especially. The only game where we battered the team was Norwich away 4-0. And Antonio's playground. And again, it was the same problem. Like we saw his interview in Diary of a CEO where it was like, I rejected Julian Alvarez because Mikel Antonio was doing well. Now the thing is, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to do that because you buy Julian Alvarez. Yeah, by the way, would have flopped at West Ham because he doesn't suit us. We wouldn't have played to his strengths. Wouldn't have worked. And so if Antonio's doing well at the time, you still buy Julian Alvarez. I actually don't know if it was that season or the season before where he said it, but regardless, competition's competition. If Antonio's playing well and you're buying Julian Alvarez in, you just do what the typical Moyes thing is to do and just leave them on the bench for the rest of the season. And you never know what could have happened against Frankfurt. I doubt anything would have happened, but we got outplayed by Frankfurt and was probably in too deep. But a lot of players dipped out of form. Fornals and Benrahma were here and there. Sometimes they were good, sometimes they were really, really bad. Aaron Cresswell was showing his age, and especially against Frankfurt. Kurt Zuma was getting injured a lot, coming back from injury, but he was still playing well. Craig Dawson was putting in a bit of a shift. He was saving us a little bit with Ogbonna's his missing presence. Ben Johnson, and we didn't see Soufal's at his best either because he was still carrying an injury. Ben Johnson started off that season well, then dipped, in my opinion. Our goalkeepers were fine. But it was just a matter of, again, getting a striker. And we also didn't see the best of Thomas Souček that season because we were vacating for Rice. And that's going to be another conversation. I'm going to talk about Thomas Souček another time. That might be the video for Friday. But honestly, I think Moyes does deserve some blame for bottling top four. But if I'm looking at reasons for why my reasons is Moyes out, I'm not going to refer back to those seasons. I'm referring back to the last year and a half. Year and a half? Yeah, year and a half. I'm not going to really refer back to those seasons that much. But I will say there is some negatives. But so I'll stick up for Moyes in terms of that. I think he should have bought a striker, but I can't really criticise him for those seasons, in my opinion. I don't think he did much wrong. But because he saw his mistakes in that summer window, I mean, he bought a lot of players. Now, a lot of those players are a part of the team now. It's only Paquetá, really. And again, that's a part of that, because Areola was already there. We just got him on a permanent deal. Because Skamaka's gone, Flynn down south on loan. He doesn't play corner. Actually, Emerson as well. Emerson's keeper. Probably one of our best players. And one of our best performing players of the season. But listen, let's carry on. And our reasons that people say Moyes in now is more from previous seasons. You're so ungrateful. 2 European seasons and a trophy. No, we're not saying get him out because of that. We're saying get him out because it's gone stale. As I said in the aftermath, and as I've said in previous videos, you can't bring up past achievements to back up what you're seeing now, because it doesn't make any sense and it doesn't even correlate. The fact that we finished 7th and 6th and won the Conference League has literally nothing to do with what's going on this season. I'm not saying it's a travesty, but it's fucking dire to watch. It's fucking shit to watch. It's awful to watch. It's bad. It's the same thing as well. It's the same thing every week. It's the same thing every game. That's why we're frustrated. I just think the perfect word for this David Moyes reign is that it's gone stale. That is it. It's just gone stale and it's hard to watch. Now, a lot of people are now comparing it to the Sam Allardyce era because Sam Allardyce and the fans clashed a lot about style of play. Allardyce said, "What the fuck is the West Ham way?" and insulting the West Ham way, and all that stuff. And a lot of fans were insulting the fact that we're just lumping the ball up all the time. And do I think Allardyce was treated badly? A little bit, yes. A little bit, no. I think once you clash with a fan, you need to leave anyway. But I do think Sam Allardyce still did a good job at West Ham. He brought stability. We needed stability if you look back at how the club was when we got relegated under Avram Grant. But at the same time, Sam Allardyce was also in the wrong for some things as well. But it became a thing where in the 14-15 season, we were playing football. We had Stuart Downing right behind Valencia and Sacco, Amalfitano coming off the bench, Alex Song, Kouyaté and Noble just popping the ball around, Kouyaté getting in the box, Cresswell having the season of his life, Carl Jenkinson having the season of his life, the two fullbacks offering width, Valencia and Sacco bouncing off each other very well. We were beating big teams. We're doing the West Ham thing of losing to teams that we should be beating and beating the teams that we shouldn't be beating on paper and stuff like that. We beat Man City that season. I don't remember if we beat Chelsea that season. I don't think we did. I don't think we beat Tottenham that season either. I actually don't remember who we beat. I think we beat Liverpool. We beat Man City. And yeah, I actually don't remember. 14-15, yeah, we lost to Tottenham 1-0 at home. That was the first game of the season. I think Eric Dyer scored. But I was there as a season ticket holder for all of Allardyce's reign. I remember being there next to my dad or my mum. Every time Reed, Tompkins, Collins are sending the ball up, the crowd starts to moan and starts to complain. That's how it was. You'd be happy with it at certain times because sometimes it worked. Carroll chesting it to Nolan, but it would only work with Eddie Carroll up front. When we were playing the football with Valencia and Sacco, as soon as Carroll and Nolan we're back to lumping it up. But that's the way it was, and it's a bit different now because people are comparing it to what we're seeing under David Moyes, and it does feel a little bit PTSD-ish. Where when I'm seeing, there's not much moaning now, but someone made a good point. If this was at Upton Park, fucking hell, this would be hectic. It would actually be genuine toxic, because I could just imagine the balls that we're actually lumping up now. Genuine shits, by the way. You'll find 1 in 30 of our long balls that actually work. And it did kind of work in the first half of the game against Crystal Palace. But there would be genuine moaning if that happened at Upton Park. Again, if we're seeing what we're seeing now. And Moyes, this isn't the first time Moyes is... I want to make this point as well, because I just remembered this. This isn't the first time Moyes has commented about the fans and stuff like that. West Ham won Newcastle 5. You go back to that game. It was asked about fans walking out or something, and it said something about true supporters and stuff. The next game we have Fulham away, which is ironic because we've got Fulham away this weekend. And then you see a big Moyes out banner. We won the game, but it was still Moyes out. I refused to watch the Fulham game because of what Moyes said. And I refused to go to the Arsenal game because of what Moyes said. It pissed me off. I'm like, all right, don't have my support then. I ended up going to the rest of the games apart from Man United because I was ill for that game. But let me talk about this. He commented about the atmosphere, this week, yeah. And if we're going back to what he said in the Newcastle game, coming up to Fiorentina versus West Ham United, he's in his press conference and he saw the banner and it hurt him. Now, I saw a lot of YouTube channels and Twitter comments saying, I kind of felt bad for him now after hearing that. Context, the reason why there was a Moyes out banner, we got battered by Newcastle. Constantly, the ball was getting given away. No, it wasn't completely his fault because the players, they threw that away. But he commented, the way he commented about the fans the game before, I didn't feel bad at all. I don't care. Once you got the fans, you've lost it. You've lost your head. And it's just gone stale now. That's just it. The football is a mishmash of, I've got technicians, but I'm not playing technical football. I'm playing long ball shit football. Now, the reason why Moyes is never going to lose the dressing room, Moyes is very picky on the characters he picks. He's very big in who comes in. He gets the final approval and stuff like that. He's always going to be like, even if they have a slight not defamation of character. I don't know what the phrase is, but like, if there's a slight tweak in their character where they've allegedly been a bad influence in the previous dressing room, then he's not going to take them. That's why Dan Juma didn't come to West Ham, because of rumours of him being a bad egg. And his agent was very angry about that when it was reported. But that's why Moyes won't lose the dressing room, because all of these are characters that he picks. These are characters that they're going to look on themselves rather than the manager. Like the Felipe Andersons are not here anymore. The Issa Diops are not here anymore. The Balbuena, like people under Pellegrini, the people under Bilic are not here anymore. Like Diafra Sakho and I don't know who else. Like, I don't know. But like, these players are not here anymore. These are all his players now. The Fornals was his guy. Ben Ramo is his guy. Like, Antonio is his guy. Bowen's his guy. Like, there's players that have been here before him that he kept. So he's never going to lose the dressing room. Even when we were having a bad patch last season, I never said Moyes hasn't lost the dressing room. We're just not good. Like, we're just not doing anything. Like I remember last season, like Molineux, like Wolves away last season. Fucking hell, man. Wolves away, Brentford at home, Arsenal away. I know it's Arsenal away, but fucking hell, the way we performed in that is disgraceful. Newcastle at home. Tottenham away, which is what we've got this week. Like, these are the pros and cons. Like, I'm trying to think, like, even Palace at home last season, like Leicester at home last season, Man United away. Like, we didn't perform badly, but we should have been more clinical. And that's probably not on Moyes. That's on the players for that game. But I'm thinking of just bad performances last season. And to be honest with you, I'm tired of seeing, like, number 6s or number 8s in a 10, like, and number 8s are not creative in a 10, like Souček. He did this with Flynn Downs last season. Because when we actually needed Souček to be in the box, Ward-Prowse was on the left, Bakatá was in the middle, and Souček was next to Alvarez. Now, Souček is a late run into the box guy, or you saw from the Burnley game, he's already in the box from the set piece. Let him make the run into the box. Like, let him play. Like, he's gonna have to make a choice. I said this in my TikTok and my previous video on the West Ham Palace aftermath. He's gonna have to pick out Ward-Prowse and Souček. Because Alvarez needs to be there because he's the defensive midfielder. Ward-Prowse and Souček does not work together. But the problem is he wants Alvarez for balance. He wants Ward-Prowse for set pieces. He wants Souček for the height. He wants Paketa on the left now because that's the only way he can shoehorn him in. And he's going to play Kudus because he said after the Villa game he wants to play him every game. And he's going to play Bowen up front to shoehorn him in. And because he's a key player, he thinks, he scores goals, put him up front. That's also why Danny Ings is at the club. So, pros and cons. This is nearly a fucking 20-minute video, fucking hell. But that's it. Weigh up the pros and cons. Moyes does have his pros. Moyes has his cons. And this is the last thing I'm going to talk about. It is normal to call David Moyes a legend at this club for winning us the Conference League, getting us into Europe, but mainly the Conference League trophy. And it's also normalised to think that and think it's going stale now. Because that's what I think now. Best manager that I've had at West Ham in my lifetime, that I got to see giving me some of the best games ever. The only non-Moyes, like, best West Ham games is probably, like, last game at the Boleyn, like, games like that. It's probably the last year at the Boleyn, just that year. And that wasn't really because of Bilic, that was because of Payet, mainly. But that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. Make sure to leave me yours in the comments below. And make sure to like the video. Subscribe if you're new. My social medias, including my TikTok now, they're all in the description. TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, all in the description. And my email for the inquiries. And I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.